Hello guys, this is Control Z and welcome to the first video of my channel, and I really hope you guys enjoy this. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. So you're going to want to land somewhere not too populated because you're going to go for wins. If you're going for high kills, go Tilted Paradise. You don't want to go to these new places because there will be tons of people there and you won't have a very long game, or if you do, you'll be very low HP for most of it. So instead, go to Tomato Town, which is my favorite place to be. It's just above Dusty and below Risky. Just head there. You can go to either the bridge near it, or you can go to the tunnel and just head to one of these places, and you'll have a great chance at pulling it out in the end. So I'm going to try to get near the ground, and that's why I jumped a little at a weird time, because I jump, most people don't see it, but in Season 5, you're going to want to, there's going to be people that are way more aggressive than they were last season, because more people have come in and more people are wanting to prove themselves to be good players. So you're going to want to try to get that low drop and find your way over. Now my favorite place to go is near the bridge area, so I'll be landing at the bridge where there just so happens to be a blue drum gun, which I enjoy the most as an AR, except for scars. So I would say pick up a drum gun, and I'd pick a tac over a... I'd pick a blue tac over any of the shotguns, over any other shotgun. Okay, so this is my gun layout that I would love to have in all my games. Drum gun, blue, blue tac, blue SMG, or whatever, yeah, SMG. So blue drum gun, blue tac, blue SMG, and 2 heals or grenades and heals. Okay, so that's what you're gonna want to go for. Now I will always pick a pump. Between a pump and a tac pump, I will always pick the one with the higher color. So say I have a green tac, but there's a blue pump, I'll pick up the blue pump. But if there's a blue tac later on, I will drop the blue pump. So of the same color, I will drop a blue pump, because I don't really care for blue pumps that much, to be honest, because I played a game a few times already before this, and I was playing and I got 8 and 16 with 2 headshots from a blue pump. So I've been doing the same with tacs, and sometimes you get the same results, but you can shoot faster, so it's worth it more in the end. So as you can see, I'm trying to loot up. You don't want to ever leave these small areas without looting up, so you're gonna want to get as many materials as you can before leaving this area. So I'm gonna grab as much loot as possible. That's why you can see me kind of running around smacking random objects to grab it. And of course you're gonna want to get your shields off, just like how you would in any other season. Just go ahead and take your shields immediately. And recently, with these new updates making the worse guns better and the better guns worse, I'd say immediately take your shields, because in the end it might affect your game. That's why I always seem to take off my meds immediately, no matter what I get first. Sometimes I'll wait if I know I have a little bit of time, but you don't always have that time. So I'm heading up to this area at the top of the tomato thing, and I can hear someone outside, I believe. Yep, I can. Okay, so someone started shooting at me, and I did a little bit of panic building right here, but don't confuse that with bad building, because I was aiming to build what I built. I just accidentally built outside of what I built. So this guy wants to come and block me off, so I decide to put a trap down along with some walls so he can't really get me from this direction. I build that. Okay, so this guy is trying to play from the low ground. I assume he hasn't looted that much, so he doesn't have a lot of things. But he's playing very unsafe. But I'm taking this as an opportunity to heal up while he's still down there. I take my shots, I miss again, and I was like, okay, I want to play this because I don't have as much confidence, but I just ran out of materials. So I gotta think about this. This guy just saw me. He's most likely going to come over here, so I'm going to try and get him from here. Now, this guy makes a foolish mistake while he's down here, and I take advantage of it. I shoot him while he's looking down, and I get the kill. It was a little questionable how I got that kill, but I'll take it nonetheless. But luckily, he did have bandages on him, and what you're going to want is those bandages. And yes, it was foolish of me not to build around me. I forgot I had builds because I picked up that guy's. And for some reason, I think that was just like a newbie player that just got the battle pass, because he didn't... He had materials, but it's not like he went up there to go build challenge me or anything. So I was very curious of the situation. So I go in here, it looks like it's been looted, and I'm a little discouraged by this because I want some shield, but I'm like, okay, this is fine. So we're just gonna head through here and go through this area. Luckily, we find some apples right outside of the bridge area, which always seem to spawn in this area. Not always a ton, but hopefully some, most of the time, unless somebody's been there. And I take this as an opportunity to get some mats as well, so I smack a few trees, smack a few rocks, and I get out of this. So I'm heading towards the circle. I'm wanting to rotate because I only have a minute and 50 about seconds to get there. So I take an apple. I'm getting as many apples as possible. I get that, and I get some... get some materials real quick. If y'all want to know my sensitivity, it right now is on 6 and 6 because y'all might say, man, why is it so low? But I tried the high, and I build really fast, but it's always really hard to hit my shots when it comes to hitting people. So instead of trying to be one of those very pro players that does that in those situations, I decided to be my own person and do it my way. So I'm just going to go with the slow game because it seems to work good for me. I'm going to switch this green pump out for the blue one because A, it's better. You can always use a color upgrade. I take this as an opportunity to get some more mats as well, even though I just heard some people. And now I hear somebody with a shopping cart coming in, so I'm wanting to sit right here and wait for him to come in because it sounded like he was there, but there's a weird sound thing with my headset, so he was actually over in this area. And I'm like, okay, let me wait till he crosses my path. Let me give off a few shots. I believe that was 27 twice. He's panic building, as you can see, because he built really fast and accidentally built stairs. So now I'm sitting in here waiting for him to come out this direction because that's what I expect. But no, he built up onto this area, and it was very fun fighting this guy because it ended up working out very well. So I built stairs, he built up, shot a rocket launcher at me, and I shot him as I was falling down because I saw his face. He let me see it. And therefore I hurt him in the end, which gave me the easy dub. He was going to shoot me down, which I understand, but he went about it the wrong way. You should have waited a little bit longer before just, popping your head out, because he was very low HP, very low. So we're gonna look around for different guns. I'm pretty sure I dropped that for the SMG, and I do. So as you can see, I'm keeping to my word. I have a blue, what do they call it? Blue drum gun. I have a blue drum gun, a blue pump. I would rather have a blue tack, but I haven't found one yet, so I can't help that. Blue drum gun, blue tack, heals, grenades, and an SMG. Now, all of that is what I said I would have, but I really want a tack, and I'm trying to find one, but I know I can't find it, and I was like, didn't that guy shoot a rocket launcher at me? I eventually found it. It took me a little while, but I found it. It was like off the side a little bit. So I'm gonna try to get some more mats real quick while I'm waiting to get into my next fight. Run around, grab a few boxes, and then I'm like, okay, the storm's about to catch up to me. Let me go grab these bandages real quick, and let's get out of here. So I'm about to head through Dusty. Then I realize, guys, it's always a bad idea to go into Dusty, because Dusty, you have the low ground. Everyone around you can kill you easily, and if I go this path, I'm still able to gather materials while running around. And I really need to check the map soon. I realize that, but there's 20 people left, and I have 2 kills, so this is going very well for me. Now, you're gonna want to have... You're not going to want to challenge every single person you see. Sometimes you have to think about it. That's why I left the person that was shooting over there alone. Now, and the reason I say that, if you have good loot and you have the choice to challenge someone or not challenge someone, pick don't challenge someone. The reason most of the time I challenge someone is because I don't have good loot at the time. So I'm like, you know what? Why not? I'm gonna get some loot real quick, no matter what the cost. But then you also want to make sure that they're very well off players. You wanna make sure that they have been in a fight recently, so you have a better chance at getting any kind of guns. So I'm just running across Dusty, running through this line. I hear shooting, and I knew I saw someone fighting over there, so I'm gonna try to run as fast as I can to catch them while they're in the middle of the fight, and possibly get both kills. And that doesn't end up happening, but I do end up getting one kill, so let's just see. I'm running around looking everywhere else except for the fight, because that's where people will be coming from. Shooting, aiming's a little off, bad. Now, I shot at that guy, they start fighting face to face, one of them goes down, and I'm like, okay, this person's a little unsuspecting, I kill them, and I'm like, okay, this is good for me. I swear I heard building just now, so I go to protect myself, and it ends up, there's no one there, and I'm very confused about what happened. So, I just go and loot everything as fast as possible while still maintaining my guard in case somebody catches me off. So, running through this, I also realized there were minis right now, but luckily there were two big shields, so it was fine in this scenario. So, take the two big shields. I want to grab my bandages or anything, but I hear the go-kart soon, so I'm like, okay, let me grab all this stuff real quick. He's most likely going to check us out, and then he ends up not checking us out at all. He just leaves. So, I'm in this situation where I'm like, okay, I have time to loot. What should I grab? Now, guys, I will take a heavy over a pump, but since the new update, where the heavy has more that decimals or whatever you want to call that it has to hit, more pellets that it has to hit, I prefer the pump. So I will take pump over heavy and tack over pump. So I believe tack is the best, to be honest. Heavy used to be the best. I've never felt natural shooting the heavy. I'm not sure about anyone else. Anytime I shoot the heavy, it feels off. I never hit my shots. And yeah, it's just awkward. So I noticed this guy isn't in his go-kart anymore. I look right over there. He's running around this house. Now, I don't want to shoot at him because my accuracy, the guns I have aren't really for accuracy at the moment. And I'm not trying to get him caught off guard and build around him because I probably won't get him in this scenario. So I'm like, okay, he's better run around this mountain. I want to build up here to possibly catch him off guard. And yes, I do hear shooting, so I'm maintaining focus. This guy is hopping, but he's not really doing anything else, so I have a really good chance at killing him. I end up pulling it out, and it's very good for me. So I'm looking around, wondering who's in this area. I go in, grab the scar. I will take a scar over that, and I'm pretty happy with everything I have. So I'm like, okay, let me just run out and see what's next. And I'm pretty sure I do get caught off guard over here. Around here somewhere. Maybe I don't. I could have sworn I got caught off guard and it freaked me out. Now, whenever I build stairs, I tend to hold down the button, and that's why you just saw me place 5 when I didn't need to. I would suggest you use your materials as easy as possible, and somebody just tried to snipe me, and I got lucky because I moved at last second. But you're going to want to do that as fast as possible. So I hear 2 people shooting to the right of me, and I'm like, okay, these are probably going to be easy kills. So I peek, it was an easy kill. There's another person. I want to reload before this, and I'm good. So I shoot a rocket to maybe scare them off a little bit. They get scared. I'm like, okay, this is my chance. By the way, most of the time when I shoot rockets, it's as a diversion, so I have time to run. So I'm like, I'm going to place a launch pad. Wait. No, why would I do that? That's just a waste of a launch pad. So I choose not to, and to just run past this person because they're over there running away from me. So I'm like, okay, I can just run past this fight. Like I said, guys, don't challenge when you don't have to. That person's standing over there. I have a good chance of getting away without them catching me. So I say, okay, I'm gonna run away, but he is now about to gain the high ground, and I'm like, oh crap, I can't let that happen. So I take a launch pad, and I go all the way over to this bridge, I believe. Yeah, I go over to this bridge to maybe loot it up, see what's there real quick before getting into any other fight, because it is in the circle, and I do have a good chance of getting out of this alive. And most likely there's not going to be anybody here because there's only 9 people left. But then again, do not let your guard down at all, people. That is the mistake that most people make, especially when against no skins. Y'all lower your guard. You're not supposed to. Keep your guard up at all times. It's a world of possibilities. So I'm sitting here like, okay, maybe I can pull out like a weird play right here where I can just put that there. If anybody gets scared, they can run in here and die. And I'm like, okay, this is such a good plan. So I'm sitting here looking around, trying to see if anybody's down there in the crevice or anything. And there ends up being no one, and I'm very weirded out. So I go to grab some mats, and I'm about to go back to my bridge area. And right when I'm going to look around this mountain real quick, I realize that my bridge area is no longer in it. And I'm like, okay, never mind. Let me run to the circle, and I know that there was somebody... That person I challenged earlier but decided to let him go. They decided to run up this mountain. So I'm like, okay, I know there's probably, or most likely, definitely one person still up here. So I want to be careful going up into this fight. Now, going up into this fight will not be like an easy task either. So I want to be very careful because this guy is probably has some very good loot at the moment. So I'm watching this out and thinking about it, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to push. Why not? But I'm going to try to push from an angle he wouldn't expect me to come from. He'll probably expect some people to come from the right of the mountain, the front of the mountain, and the left of the mountain. But he won't expect people from the, like, back of the storm. So you always want to come from the place they least expect it. And that's what I try to do. I also try to make it so there's less space for anybody else to climb up after me. I run up here, was curious to find that there was no building. And then I heard walking right next to me. By the way, guys, have your volume very loud or... have that new mode. And now I heard people to the left of me, and then out of nowhere this person was behind me, and it confused me so much. I shot a rocket. That was a very risky move, by the way. I shot a rocket. I took a lot of damage from it. It wasn't very smart. I don't suggest you do that, but I did panic, and on console it's harder to switch guns, and I had a chance of dying right there, so I figured the risk was worth it, and I decided to go for it. So now I'm going to take my med kit, I'm going to grab 2 shields, but I want to do something confusing, so I'm going to grab some mats real quick after getting the shields on. I'm going to grab some mats after looking at what this person has apparently. Okay, so I'm going to come in here, break this tree, and then I also integrate trees into my builds like you can see right here because it's harder for people to see me or break a wall. So I build that in case a person decides to run up on me, and right when I'm thinking of that, guess what happens? I'm kidding. I break this trap that person set just in case I don't actually accidentally run into it, and I hear someone behind me walking, and I decide, you know what, this is probably a bad idea, so I shoot that to make sure there's nobody going to come from this direction to maybe throw them off, but I'm also letting people know exactly where I am, so that's a bad idea. But I heard someone behind me, and I end up taking damage from them. And this was a very lucky / skilled play because I can hear where they are, and I take an estimated guess of where they will be. So I shoot right here. I'm like, yo, okay, that person was there. They build more, and I'm like, okay, right there. And it ends up getting the kill. I was so happy with this because it was such prediction. I predicted like where they would go. I barely saw him move, so it was very exciting for me. And yeah, I was excited in this situation. I was like, dang, I'm actually doing pretty good. 7 kills, 3 people left. This isn't too bad for me right now. So I'm wanting to take it easy because I'm already promised a decent win at the end of this. I accidentally shoot a tree. They snipe at me, build a little bit. Then I go to shoot again, I hit my own walls. I shoot. And I'm looking around for this other person because I don't want them to catch me off guard. And I'm like, okay, I kind of want to snipe this person, but how do I do that? So, I'm thinking, and I'm like, okay, what should I do in this scenario? I'm going to build up too high, not wasting too many materials. I see somebody running from the right, and I'm wanting to throw this person with the sniper off to look at them. And I'm like, okay, let me just distract them with this person. And he gets sniped! One snipe, and this guy was down. He was running straight at him, though, so I expect nonetheless. So I back away from the scenario. I'm like, okay, should I go down here? But I'm like, but is it a great idea? Because then I'll be at the lowest low ground, and it will be kind of difficult for me to come back from it. So I'm like, I changed my mind. Try to always keep the high ground, especially if you're in the circle. So I'm like, okay, this person's probably going to be building up to me if I'm not fighting them. Let me grab this sniper, come over here, maybe give him a real good sniper here. I don't see them popping up, so I snipe to scare them off a little bit. And I go to scare them off, nothing happens. So I'm looking around, I'm like, okay, what should I do? I run back over here, and I'm looking around this guy's area. He has gotten closer, and I'm like, this is a perfect opportunity. Since he's getting closer, I'm not really going to need the sniper anymore. Let me come over here and grab my rocket launcher. So you're going to want to grab your rocket launcher, come over here, and hit them with that. So I shoot, and guys, it could not be more perfect that they didn't build. And people, that is how you win a game in Season 5. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe for more content if you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to turn on post notifications, and yeah, guys, just give it a comment if you like my first video, and I really appreciate all your support and love, guys, and I'll talk to you people later. See ya.